Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is my channel Secret Life of a Seamstress, where I love to talk all about sewing and making clothes. Thank you so much for being here today and I hope you're all doing really well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 great top sewing patterns. So these are great tops to wear when you just want a jeans and a nice top outfit. So I really hope there'll be something in there for you today, and of course you don't have to wear these tops with jeans. They can be worn with many other different outfits, but for the purpose of this video I'm going to call it the jeans and a nice top video, or video inspiration for jeans and a nice top. You know what I mean. Pattern number one is Simplicity 9606. I really love the pretty flattering empire line bust of this top and the fact that there are so many different options included in this pattern. So as you can see from the line drawings, you can make this either with a pretty flutter sleeve, a puff sleeve, or you can make it sleeveless as well. And there are also two different neckline options. So I really love the low V-neck option for this one. I think it's really pretty and really good for going out. But you could also make a high neck version as well. So if you're not keen on exposing that much skin, then you can have this pretty high neck version as well. The bodice is quite fitted, and I think with the empire bust line, it gives it a slight Renaissance type feel. And I think this pattern would be so versatile depending on the type of fabric you chose to use. So you could make it from a lovely pretty ditzy floral viscose for a daytime look, but if you wanted to dress it up with jeans for an evening look, you could make it from a silky silk or a satin fabric and add some lace, and that would be really lovely and a lovely going out top. The skill level for this one is intermediate because it does have a few tricky details to it, like the buttons and button loops. But if you wanted to make your sewing life easier, then you could go for the high neck sleeveless version, and I think that would be slightly easier to sew. Pattern number two is the Atelier Dupe Zoe blouse. I have to be honest and say that I chose this pattern purely on the pattern image. I thought the lovely floral fabric they'd used to this blouse was so pretty. So this blouse is a really simple cut. It has a V neckline again, some bust darts for shaping, and then it has these really pretty gathered voluminous sleeves with a lovely cuff which brings everything in at around elbow length. The skill level for this one is confident to advanced beginner. I think if you have a bit of sewing experience already under your belt, then you could definitely attempt this blouse. It is a pull on over your head blouse as far as I can see, so there are no buttons or tricky fastenings to contend with. So as I mentioned, I absolutely love the floral fabric they've used in this pattern image, but again, I just think you could dress this one up or down depending on what you're planning to wear this jeans and a nice top outfit for. So if you want to go a little bit more smart casual, go for a floral or a viscose fabric, but again, if you want to really dress it up, go for something silky or satiny. I think you could even sew this one from a cut work or a lace, and that would look really good for an evening look. For me, I would wear this blouse tucked in with a nice wide leg pair of jeans. I think if you're wearing something quite voluminous on top, it's always nice to cinch yourself in at the waist and then maybe flare out again at the bottom. And of course you could wear your wide leg jeans with either heels or a pair of pretty ballet flats if you prefer. Pattern number three is the Vicky Sews Liza blouse. I absolutely loved the look of this one purely for the drama of it really, and again I think this would be a great one to dress up or down with a pair of jeans. You could as easily wear this for a daytime look as you could wear it in the evening. So the skill level for this one is slightly more difficult. I would say it's around an intermediate to advanced level. There are quite a lot of details in this one, but if you do have some sewing experience, then this would be a lovely pattern to tackle. So the Liza blouse has some high front and back yokes with lots of back and front gathering to the bottom panels. It has a stand collar. It has this really dramatic wide button placket on the front with these really pretty buttons and rouleau loops, which I think gives it a slightly vintage feel. These huge sleeves are actually sewn in 3 parts and they're gathered into this really tall cuff, which also buttons up with buttons and rouleau loops. So quite a lot to get your teeth into with this pattern, and I really love how they've styled this one on the pattern image just in a solid colour. So I think if you're going to be wearing this kind of blouse, you have so much volume on the top that you definitely need to cinch yourself in either at the waist or wear something skinnier on the bottom. So for me, I would probably pair this blouse with a nice pair of mum jeans with a high waist. Similar again to how they've styled the pattern image. You can tell I just love the styling of this one, can't you? So with this blouse you could use a variety of different fabrics. You definitely need something with a bit of drape to it, so maybe a viscose, rayon or a crepe. But again, if you wanted a really lovely evening feel, go for a silky satin fabric or something like that. Today's video is sponsored by Serious Readers. And if you are on the lookout for a lovely Christmas gift that you can buy the crafty person in your life this season, then you might want to check out Serious Readers' website. Serious Readers are a lighting company that build bespoke lighting solutions for crafters like you and me who love to craft into the evening but don't want to be hindered by dark evenings and poor lighting solutions. I have a floor standing HD light, which if you are a regular to my channel, you'll know that I use all the time. It comes in so handy for my evening sofa crafts, as I like to call them, like knitting, crochet, embroidery and hand sewing. But I also use it regularly in my dining room here to help me with tracing and cutting out and threading my sewing machine needle and all of that close-up work that can sometimes be difficult on the eyes. I know for me, as I'm getting further into my 40s, I am struggling a little bit more with my eyesight. I'm having to wear my glasses a bit more, and I have really found that my Serious Readers HD light has helped me so much with all of the fiddly little things you need to do with sewing, like threading overlockers and threading needles and all that kind of stuff, and sometimes even unpicking as well, because it happens to all of us, doesn't it? All Serious Readers HD lights are fitted with something called daylight wavelength technology, which replicates the daylight spectrum as close as is technically possible, and this just helps it to feel as though you're working in daylight even though it might be dark outside. Each light is also fitted with a dimmer switch and a beam width function as well, which helps you to get just the right focus on exactly what you're working on. I have mine in black with brass accent finishes, but there are other colours and finishes that you can go for, and there are loads of other different types of lights to choose from on the Serious Readers website as well. Serious Readers are kindly offering my viewers £100 off of any high definition light on their website using my code SALLY24. This code also entitles you to free UK delivery and a 30-day money back guarantee, so you can buy with confidence. Thank you so much to Serious Readers for sponsoring this part of the video. Now let's carry on with the sewing patterns. Pattern number 4 is the Hemlock Tea by Capstone Patterns. So I can vouch for this one's loveliness because I have sewn this one already. So this is a cropped boxy t-shirt style top. It has a centre front seam, a V-neck and grown on sort of cap sleeves that just cover your shoulders nicely. So I really love a pattern like this that can be dressed up or down. This is such a simple, pretty top. The cut of it is so lovely that I think depending on the type of fabric you use for it, you really can, again, dress it up or down depending on what you're doing. So I've sewn my version of this pattern from a viscose crepe fabric. It pairs so nicely with jeans and sandals in the summertime. If you were going to a Christmas do or a Christmas party or something that you needed to be a little bit more glamorous for, you could sew this from a pretty glittery or sequined fabric, and it would be perfect for a big night out paired with a pair of skinny black jeans, for example, or wide leg jeans or something a little bit more dressy. I also think this one again would look lovely sewn from a satin or a lace or even a cutwork style fabric that you could pair with a cami underneath, and I think that would look lovely as well. This one is a lovely example of a simple style pattern to use, but I'm willing to bet that you have a similar style pattern in your stash already that you could use to recreate a similar style glittery simple top for Christmas time. Pattern number 5 is the patina blouse by Friday Pattern Company, which is actually what I'm wearing today. I'm always a little bit wary on my channel of including too many patterns that I've sewn and talked about a lot already in the past, but I couldn't not include this one because this particular patina blouse is one that I reach for all the time if I just need a simple jeans and a nice top outfit for if we're going out for dinner or out with friends or out for drinks or anything like that. So with the patina blouse, it's a lovely, I would say like a nod to vintage style blouse. It has a deep V neckline, a lovely pointed flat collar which comes right down here, It buttons up at the front and the inside is finished with the burrito method, so it gives a lovely neat finish inside, and you can choose between long sleeves, so long gathered voluminous sleeves again, which are gathered into a nice cuff which opens with a button, or you can make more simple style short sleeves. The skill level for this pattern is rated intermediate because there are a few more difficult techniques involved in this one, like doing the burrito method for the back yoke, but it's a great one to work towards once you do have a little bit of sewing experience under your belt. Today I'm actually wearing it with a pair of mum jeans. It would also look great tucked in with skinny jeans and heels as well. I've sewn mine from a viscose floral fabric, but again, a silk or satin or a glittery fabric or even a cutwork fabric would work so nicely. I think that would look so lovely. Pattern number 6 is the Fabric Godmother Fleur blouse. I really think this would make the perfect jeans and a nice top. It's just so pretty, and again you could make it in so many different ways. So for Christmas parties, I think as they've sewn it in this lovely red cotton fabric, that would be so festive and so lovely for Christmas time, worn with a pair of black jeans perhaps. So details of the fleur blouse include a nice high round neck, this bow tie fastening at the front, which does actually include a modesty panel, which I think is great. It has this pretty gathered peplum at the hem and these big puffy sleeves, which are elasticated around your arm. The skill level for this one is actually beginner, so if you are a beginner sewist and you fancy tackling something a little bit outside your comfort zone, then this would be a great pattern to try. There are lots of techniques involved in this to practice your skills on, like gathering, creating these big puffy sleeves, and also sewing the bow ties. I think it would be a really fun sew. It's not one that I've made yet, but it's definitely one that's on my wish list. Pattern number 7 is New Look 6560. So you may remember that this is a pattern that's actually on my own sewing list. I've had this in my stash for ages, but I just haven't got around to sewing it up yet, and maybe this Christmas should be the time. Again, I love this pattern for its versatility. There are quite a few different options that you can choose from with this pattern. So for this time of year, I think version A would be the perfect version to sew. And just look how pretty it is. I absolutely love the shape of this one, and I love the long gathered sleeves. I think this would look so lovely paired with a nice pair of jeans for a really good jeans and a nice top look. So the bodice of this blouse for each version in this pattern is pretty much the same. They all have the wrap front, the waist ties, the shoulder yokes, and the really pretty gathered fronts. But it's the sleeves that you can really play around with. So as you can see, you could make this sleeveless version, which kind of has these grown-on sleeves that do cover your shoulders. You can make a flutter sleeve version, or you can make this long sleeve gathered version as well. The skill level for this one, I would say, is advanced beginner. So if you are a beginner, I would start maybe with the sleeveless version, because then you don't have the sleeves to contend with, obviously. It just makes the whole sew that little bit easier. Because it is a wrap blouse, there are no buttons or fastenings to contend with, so that's always a good thing. And if you are a beginner, then maybe use a more solid fabric such as a cotton or linen or something like that, something that's a little bit easier to sew. But if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, then I think options A or B would look so lovely sewn from a viscose or a viscose crepe. Or for evening or party wear, again, obviously sew it from something slinky, something satiny, something slippery, something that's going to give you more of that party feel. Pattern number 8 is a Sew Over It silk cami. So I think for this one, we need to have an oldie but a goodie. This is one that I've sewn many times, and I absolutely love it. So this pattern is actually labelled Absolute Beginner, and I can vouch for that with this pattern, because this was one of the very first patterns that I sewed at the beginning of my sewing journey. And again, it can look so different depending on the type of fabric that you choose to sew it from. So you can sew this top from a variety of different fabrics. If you're a beginner, I would suggest starting with maybe a cotton or a linen, again something quite stable, something that's going to hold its shape and press really nicely and not wobble too much. If you are more advanced, then definitely try a viscose or a crepe, or of course a silk, as the pattern suggests. And what I really love about tops like these, and this is why I wanted to include this pattern, is that they can pair so nicely underneath things. So if you sewed this from a lovely silky fabric, it would look so pretty underneath a lovely fluffy cardigan for an evening do. That would look lovely paired with a pair of skinny jeans and heels, for example. I love wearing these silk camis tucked into my high-waisted wide leg jeans with either a cardi or a shirt over the top, or even a jacket or a blazer would work really well as well, especially if you're going to be going out and about in the evening time. Pattern number 9 is the Style Arc Joy Vest. And I've included this one because waistcoats on their own, worn as tops, are so big on the high street this season. And I think they look absolutely lovely. I'm not sure if I'm actually brave enough to wear this style, but I do love the way that they look on other people. So if you are going to be going to a Christmas party or a work do and you really want to dress up quite fancy, I think you could sew this top, pair it with a lovely pair of skinny jeans and heels, and you would look amazing. But again, if you wanted to dress it down and maybe balance it out a little bit more, then go with a wider leg pair of jeans on the bottom. The waistcoat is quite fitted on your top half, so I think it looks great if you're then balanced out with a pair of wider leg, maybe flared jeans on the bottom half. So since this is a tailored waistcoat, the sewing level for this one is intermediate to advanced level. There are some quite tricky techniques involved in this one. And I've chosen this vest because I really love the shape of it. So it has the classic V neckline of a waistcoat or a vest. It buttons up in the middle. It's fitted with princess seams. It's fully lined. It has faux welt pockets, so you don't have to worry about making your actual welt pockets. These are actually fake. And then it has the nice pointed lapels at the front too for a bit of shaping and a little bit of interest. Fabric suggestions for this pattern include cotton and linen blends. I think you could sew this from a nice pinstripe to give you that smart look and feel. Or you could even sew it from a check, or if you want to be really fancy, really Christmassy, sew it from a nice sparkly cotton fabric. The key is here, I think, that you need a fabric that's going to hold its shape. You want something that's going to press really nicely so that you get that nice pointed detail at the front and that tailored look and feel. Pattern number 10, and my last pattern, is this Vogue pattern for a knit bodysuit. So this is actually the only knit pattern on my list, but I thought this one would be so lovely for Christmas parties this season. So this is actually a Bardo style bodysuit. Bardo style off the shoulder tops are really, really big this season, and I thought sewn in this crushed velvet fabric, as it has been on the pattern image, it would look absolutely perfect styled with a pair of skinny black jeans and heels. It has this lovely V neckline and this pretty crossover ruched detail at the front, and it actually folds over at the back to create that sort of ruffly ruched feeling at the back as well. And there are different sleeve length variations as well. So you can sew it with full long sleeves, or you can sew it with shorter sleeves, elbow length or bicep length as well. So as I said, I love the crushed velvet look on the front of this pattern image. But I think if you wanted to pare things down a bit, then obviously you could go for a solid colour. A black or white would always look good with a pair of black or white jeans for that tonal look and feel. But if you wanted to dress it down, then obviously you could use a print knit fabric as well, and that would be great for a daytime look. So as well as pairing this with a pair of skinny jeans for an evening look, I think this would look so pretty worn in the daytime with a pair of baggy wide leg jeans and a pair of flat shoes or sandals. Fabrics required for this pattern are 4-way stretch knits, so quite stretchy fabrics with at least 75% stretch, and the pattern recommends rayon and spandex. This is actually an intermediate skill level pattern, so if you are a beginner, you may have your work cut out for you attempting this pattern, but I am going to put it out there and say that because of all the ruching and folding in this pattern, there's probably room for a few mistakes along the way there that wouldn't necessarily be noticeable. So that brings me to the end of my 10 great top sewing patterns for that jeans and a nice top look. If you are looking for jeans sewing patterns, then don't worry, I will soon have a video coming out for 10 great jeans sewing patterns, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. And on that note, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like as well. You can also follow me over on Instagram for more day-to-day photos and videos and behind the scenes chat. I also have a Patreon as well, where there's lots more bonus sewing content and videos, tutorials, photos and all that kind of stuff available as well. So I will link that below too. Do let me know in the comments below what you would add to that list. Let me know if you have a favourite top sewing pattern that you sew all the time for that jeans and a nice top look. And I'd love to know as well what your favourite pattern from my list was. Do let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching everyone. Take care and I'll look forward to seeing you in another video soon. Bye.